Hey there and welcome. My name is Pete, and this weekend this channel here turns 7 years old. Time for an update. Before we begin though, if you have been wondering what happened to the channel updates in January and February, I decided to stop doing them monthly for the time being. I made a community post about that decision a while back, and it basically boils down to me not really having that much to talk about these last few months. And before I start pulling things to say out of thin air just to fill a few minutes and to keep a streak going, I would much rather spend that time on making more gameplay videos. So, after 81 consecutive channel update videos dating all the way back to March of 2016, we will now only have them 4 times a year, at least for the foreseeable future. And so, this first channel update of 2023 already features a very important moment for me. Like I said, Pete Complete just turned 7 years old. 7 years ago, I uploaded my very first video to YouTube, or rather, I went a bit overboard, as I so often tend to do, and actually launched the channel by publishing an entire series, a full completionist playthrough of Mirror's Edge. You can find that linked on screen and down below. It probably hasn't aged too well in some aspects, but that is how Pete Complete got started. However, did you know that I actually registered the Pete Complete name with YouTube a grand total of 15 months prior to that? Yes, if you go to my channel's About section, you'll see that it was created in late December of 2014. That is how long I spent thinking about what exactly I wanted to do with the channel, which games I wanted to play and how also how long I worked on that first Mirror's Edge series, because for some reason I wanted to have it all ready and figured out right from the beginning. In hindsight, I probably should have just started, but well, I tend to over-prepare, which you might have noticed in some of my videos already. And this actually leads me to another thing I want to talk about today. The channel's anniversary usually marks the start of something new or the release of a special video, at least for the last few years. In 2019, we started the playthrough of XCOM Enemy Within, and in 2020 we launched the RimWorld Extreme Desert series in March. In 2021, for the 5-year anniversary, I made a 15-minute video on how I make an episode for one of my playthroughs, and last year we started the playthrough of XCOM 2 a few weeks after the anniversary. Now this is where I have good news and bad news. Bad news, this year I don't really have the capacity to launch a new series, but good news, I still have something special in the pipeline. Without overhyping it, I can confidently say that I am currently working on a video unlike any other I have ever done before. I have honestly no idea how well it will be received and if it's something that you guys or new viewers might be interested in, but I have been wanting to do a video like this for at least 2 years now and just recently found a great opportunity to do so. I won't spoil what it is just yet, but don't worry, it is still a gaming video. Suffice it to say, I have been basically working non-stop on it for the last 2 weeks. It is going to be about an hour long, perhaps even a bit more, that much I can say, and it is also going to be the video for which I have recorded the longest commentary so far, as most other super long videos on this channel are part of the Mass Effect playthroughs and thus feature a decent amount of in-game dialogue that I don't need to fill myself. I plan to release that video sometime next week, and until then I have put all other series on hold. I really want to get this out there and I am super excited to hear what you guys think about it. Still, speaking of those other series, change is in the air, at least for some of them. Our RimWorld series is likely coming to an end soon, or at least the first chapter is, and Mass Effect also doesn't have too many episodes left, although there is still a good amount of DLC content waiting, and admittedly the series has taken a bit of a backseat behind RimWorld and XCOM. The reasons for that are obvious, I think. It just doesn't perform on the level of those other two, and as much as I hate to do that, this channel is becoming increasingly important for my monthly income, and with my video output the way it is at the moment, unfortunately some sacrifices have to be made. And just because it ties in here, a quick word about my mental health. Again, I don't want to overindulge on the subject. I am still doing therapy, progress is slow. I am currently working on setting healthier expectations for me and getting rid of at least a bit of that perfectionism and over-preparing that drives so much of what I do. But yeah, all of that takes some time. I am very happy to have found a great therapist, and I'm optimistic that they will help me to get better, but sadly mental health issues are not broken bones that can be repaired in a few weeks with a cast and some patience. So at the moment I don't really want to put a time frame on my path to getting better. It will simply take as long as it takes. For the time being, I think I have found a good rhythm with about 1 video per week. I know that makes for rather slow progress with 3 series running simultaneously, but perhaps we'll be down to 2 soon, once RimWorld and or Mass Effect end, and I might stick with that for a while. Finally then, perhaps one more bit of expectation management. I will be taking a much needed holiday at the end of March, just about a week or so, but I won't be able to upload anything during that time. In other words, if you are not a fan of what's coming next week, March might be a bit of a slow month for you, but don't worry, things will be back to normal, or at least the new normal, very soon. And I hope that in the next channel update video we can already talk about what's next after RimWorld. Perhaps we can do some planning regarding what the second chapter could look like, what challenges we could set ourselves, and what the overall tone of the series could be. If you already have some ideas on that, then feel free to drop them down below in the comments. I have roughly 2 pages full of notes already scribbled down, but I would be more than happy to add to that to ensure that the playthrough is as unique as it can be, despite the definitely no longer recent release of the biotech expansion. And I think that is enough for today. I hope you can see why doing these videos once a quarter instead of once a month is a bit more worthwhile as long as business around the channel is slow. The only thing that now perhaps becomes a bit more challenging is shouting out all the new Patreon supporters who have joined since the last channel update video. The list is now no longer restricted to 1 month. Instead, these are the names of the lovely people who have decided to support this passion of mine from December to February. So let's get to it. As always, in no particular order, I would like to say thank you to Freaky Malachi, Oliver Glock, Izzy Mason, David Kleckner, Lee Meredith, Razvan Mandake, Daryl Donnelly, Midnew, Anton, BT, Turonik, Woman1922 aka Holly, Magic Kiwi, Adrian M. Hutchins, Alex Friestman, Luke the Duke, Chris Toff, Mikai Ovidio Murisan, Nas Sigma, Deborah Lou, Red Wraith, Bounty 970, Vulek, Particle number 511, Jane Doe, Zeke, Winseon, Brand Dazzle, Bobby Tables, Bohemian Romantic, Dr. Evil, I Have Frosting, Boring Artichoke, Wen Furf, Nathan Bluin, Benjamin Ott, Christian, and Jim42. As always, I hope I pronounced all of your names correctly. Above all though, thank you all so much for your support. And with that, let's make the cut for today. Hopefully you enjoyed this new form of the channel update, which apart from its frequency didn't really change all that much, I think. If you did enjoy it, then I would of course be very happy if you could leave a thumbs up, and if you like what I'm doing and want to support me and my channel further, then you can go ahead and subscribe to stay up to date, grab some merch over on shop.petecomplete.com, or check out and maybe even pledge to the Pete Complete Patreon too. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.